organizations, working with the CHA, making sure that they get rents that are market rents, and recognizing that renting from HCV doesn't mean that they're going to get less money, and we're easier to work with.
I came today because, well, I'm always impressed with the quality of the sessions. For example, this morning I went to something on locks and doors, and it's incredible, all the details and all the new information that people are interested in learning that we never knew before.
You know, in terms of learning, it's all about resources. For this particular event, your resource is actually right in front of you, and that's what I love. It's more or less like one-stop shop.
These are very important because you get to meet people that actually are going to, be the ones that are going to provide you the jobs that we need to do. It really is good marketing, good to meet people. The networking is real well. We found that typically, we do our best when we come to these kind of events.
It's about expanding what we do. It's about expanding opportunities not only for our participants, our families, but also for our owners and people that are not in the program.
So they bring them here today and have all the different trade associations here and so forth to provide that information. This bodes well with what we're trying to do in this city, to be a partner, not being an outsider. That's why it's so important. It seems like every year it grows and grows.
It's all about improving the city and making sure that Chicago is one of the best cities in the world. We want to have strong communities throughout the entire city so people can feel safe, they can have wonderful housing, they can feel like they are a part of a world-class city no matter which neighborhood they live in.
This year, our 11th anniversary of our CHA Operation Warm event, we've got 9,000 brand new winter coats that we're giving away to CHA kids who live throughout the city. We also have a service fair with 30 organizations, all sorts of awesome resources. We've got PepsiCo here with their bags of grocery products. First Book is back with 12,000 books. Every single kid will be able to pick out 4 books. We've got Walgreens providing free flu shots. CETA has light energy kits. ComEd, they have energy kits. Chicago Public Library is here. There's something for everyone.
What's happened here, this is the largest event, one single event of the year. It started here, I guess, about 11 years ago or so, and we've done this with housing authorities, tried to do it with housing authorities around the country. Now, you got something very special here. This is heartwarming. What's more important than helping another soul?
We didn't come today.
Did you get your coat? And what do you think?
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Happy New Year's to all of you. My name is John Hooker, and I'm chairman of the CHA Board of Commissioners. I would like to call the January 9th, 2019 special board meeting to order. The board secretary will take the roll, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Commissioner Brewer, Commissioner Chico.
Here.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Hart. Commissioner Mataki. Commissioner Mathis.
Here.
Commissioner Tenukas. Commissioner Parker.
Here.
Commissioner Washington.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Lee. So at this time, I'd like to ask Commissioner Harris, would she be so kind to share some centering thoughts with us for today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Okay. Well, let me start by saying you made it, I made it, and we've made it. We've crossed into the new year, 2019. And I want you to take your neighbor by the hand and say this. Take your neighbor, find someone's hand. Come on. Hold somebody's hand. Turn around. Okay. And say, neighbor.
Neighbor.
2019 is going to be a wonder-filled year for you.
2019 will be a wonderful year for you.
You better believe it.
You better believe it.
Because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Now, come on and give another neighbor your hand and say the same thing. Find another person.
We did it already.
Come on, we're going to have...
Matt Mosier's not holding anybody's hand. Matt Mosier's not holding nobody's hand. He broke the chain.
Okay. Neighbor. Come on, say it again to your new neighbor. Neighbor. 2019 is going to be a wonder-filled year for you. I can't hear you. Are you saying that? Okay. You better believe it, because it's going to happen. Okay, and it is. Wow. See, that's good. We had to loosen up a little bit and get close to each other. And I want to say, take your rightful place, because the better is yet to come. But this is your year for dreams to manifest, and this is your year for greatness. If you can believe it, you will receive it to achieve it. So, I decree and I proclaim it to be established just for you in the year 2019. You know, CHA, we have planted a lot of good seeds. Oh, yes, we have, in Chicago. And so it is time for us to receive a great harvest. And I believe that going forward in 2019, and if I may break the English, I'm going to say, we ain't seen nothing yet, because CHA is going to go forth and we're going to be successful in all of our endeavors. You watch, because we believe it and we know that we can achieve it, and it shall come to pass. Have a wonderful new year, the year 2019. This is for all of you. Now give yourselves a hand. Come on. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Harris. As a reminder to the public, please register at the sign-in desk if you need to address the board during the public participation period. Registration will continue for the next 5 minutes. After 5 minutes have expired, the Secretary will not accept any more cards. As set forth in the public participation rules, courtesy, respectful, and civil behavior is expected from all speakers and all persons attending the board committee meeting. We have one item for consideration on today's special board meeting. And the item is settlement agreement in the matter of Dorothy Control versus CHA. As you may be aware, late last month, CHA and BPI announced a proposed settlement in the landmark control housing discrimination case. That remind me, would everybody else turn your phones off too? Thank you. This proposed settlement would establish a framework to end more than 50 years of litigation and court supervision for the public housing in Chicago. The CEO and Chief Legal Officer will provide us with details of the proposed settlement and steps CHA will take to complete its control obligation. I'd like Gene, okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
After several months of negotiation, we have come to this framework that we have published designed to provide for a roadmap to end the litigation surrounding the control matter. BPI and CHA have come up with some basic tenets to bring the litigation to an end, and they come into 3 or 4 general categories. One category is an overview of current and proposed developments. We have over the years agreed to certain standards for developments ranging from mixed sites to all public housing developments, and attached to the settlement Exhibit A is a list of those developments and the guidelines that we will follow to complete those developments. The second point that we have come to agreement on surrounds, or one of the second points surrounds the housing choice voucher program. We have agreed that BPI will have the ability to give us input and recommendations, specifically focusing on the mobility aspect of the housing choice voucher program. We have agreed to evaluate their proposals as presented and then make a determination as to whether or not that's acceptable. We do have a provision wherein if BPI objects to our denial of their proposal, they may have an opportunity to go into court and petition for the court to hear it. But if they do, they would have to demonstrate that we have acted arbitrarily and capriciously, as any other plaintiff would have to do. We have agreed to implement early learning initiative programs in 4 other developments throughout the city at Lake Park Place, Washington Place, Dearborn, Trumbull, and Wentworth. These would be substantially similar to the early learning initiatives that we've established at the Altgeld development. We've agreed to continued monitoring enforcement for the life of the settlement agreement, and we've agreed that BPI will have an opportunity, as they historically have, to petition the court for fees that they spend time working on this matter. Finally, we've agreed that the life of this settlement would be 5 years and would end in July of 2024. Are there any questions?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
This is a historic day for the CHA and also for our residents and also for the general public. As I made a statement last night on one of the TV shows, Chicago Live, I want to repeat the 2 things that are very important on this Gautreaux. The public housing residents have been well served by this order oversight over the years and are better off today in important ways as a result. And number 2, I want to reemphasize CHA today is dedicated to continuing to improve the life opportunities of its residents, and will do so going forward. Just because we are trying to end this order as of July 31st, 2024, that doesn't mean that CHA is just going to stop and not do anything else. We're still committed to our residents. We're still committed to doing wonderful mixed income developments. We're also committed to doing innovative things that we would not typically do, but we will do as a result of making sure that we have quality of life issues, that we're improving the lives of our residents. I'm very proud to submit this settlement agreement to you as a result of our continued great partnership with BPI and all of the other public entities and advocacy groups that we have in this city. It shows you that they trust us. It shows you that we know we're going to do what we say we're going to do, and that we're committed to improving our residents' quality of life and providing better services and opportunities. Are there any questions, Commissioners? Yes, Commissioner.
Well, I thank you, I really do, for making this happen. I remember in 1981, Aaron France was our ED. He went up against them, lost. 89, Vince Lane went up against him and lost. 96, 97, Joe Schodner went up against him and lost. So it's long overdue. I mean, we've been held hostage for the longest by the control decision by BPI, so thank you.
So, Commissioner, I just want to not, I don't want to say we've been, what's the word that you use, held hostage. I think what has happened here is that we want to make sure that we prove at this point that we can continue doing what we've done. As you know, CHA has made a lot of promises over the years, and sometimes they deliver and sometimes they couldn't because of factors that are not under control. We just feel at this time we have had demonstrated to not only to BPI but to our resident population, to the general public, that we do what we say we're going to do. We have a public-private partnerships, and we're improving the lives of our residents from this day forward to whatever that end date is going to be. And thank you, Commissioner.
Yeah, my question is, again, I commend the CHA for this long journey that they took on with BPI. I commend BPI for actually stepping up and representing the residents. I'm just asking that we as we the tenants, I would just want to know in this settlement, which I know, but I just want the public to know that nothing in this settlement prohibits the participation or the input of the residents and the councils that represent the residents from still having a say in the direction of the housing authority moving forward.
As long as I'm a CEO, that's guaranteed.
Okay. And one more, this is the last thing, is this is the first mention of a housing choice voucher. I am a housing choice voucher participant, so I'm glad that we are now moving a little focused, whereas though we are focusing on the private sector or our residents that's left the housing authority that's out there in the private sector, and they still getting attention and the services they need to be like kind of watched or making sure that those services continue. So
thank you.
I thank you guys for adding that.
I have more of a comment than a question, and it's just to applaud everyone involved in this. It's both a symbol of the progress that we've made over the years to actually address some of the issues, but it's also the product of CHA, Eugene and our chair and the board and everyone who works with the CHA, along with a wide range of community stakeholders and BPI and other organizations, all able to come together around these complex issues and come up with a solution going forward. So I applaud you on both fronts.
Thank you, Commissioner. One last comment. This could never have been done unless I had a great staff. I had a great staff that supported us. I had a great staff that supported me in my administration. They have been dedicated and not knowing that we were going to try to end the control orders. It was something I had sat down and talked to Hoy McConnell, who's the ED of BPI, and we sat down, we thought about this. And so I didn't tell anyone until I brought our lawyers, our internal lawyers and our external lawyers to sit down and say, why not? And so we worked out an agreement. We started working this out probably around late July into August. And so we had a time frame. We thought it was very logical. We had a strategy, and it came to fruition. I brought the board chair in, and I wanted to minimize the external comments and so forth, and so we kept it close to our heart. We got to the point where we made it public, and we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's. So I'm very proud of that effort, and of course, our residents are a big part of this decision and growing forward.
Okay. Gene, just one, what are the next steps now?
So now we wait for you to approve this settlement agreement, and then we take this information to the judge, Judge Aspen. We have a fairness hearing on January 17th. Now, we're not sure, based on this partial shutdown, does that affect this fairness hearing next week, January 17th? We hope not, but we go to the fairness hearing. We get both sides. They talk to the judge and say, okay, this is good, this is not good. We approve this, we don't approve this. And then after the judge hears all those comments, and judge hopefully will rule on that day or subsequent thereafter, and we move forward. And then we look at the schedule that we have provided to you in the settlement agreement. We are compelled to complete what we had asked, what we had stated that we were going to complete.
So if I can just add to that, we did some preliminary checking on scheduling. The court personnel believe they have sufficient funding, but the expectation is that regardless of what happens with the shutdown, the expectation is that the January 17th hearing will proceed. So we should proceed on the schedule as laid out today. And to the extent that people want to provide comments to the court or objections to the court, January 15th at 3 p.m. is the deadline, and you should proceed in accordance with the public notice.
I would like to say that this is Commissioner Harris. I've been on the board for a very long time, and I have something that I would like to read. It's a little history here that I think would be very important to share. Lee Chuck Gill really reminded me of this, and I just want to thank her for this, because when Sharon Gist Gilliam was the chairperson of the board, Terry Peterson tried to do what you're doing, and it didn't work. Sharon Gist Gilliam was also chairperson when Philip Jackson was CEO. He tried to do this, and it didn't work. Sharon Gist Gilliam and then Martin Nesbitt were chairman of the boards, and Louis Jordan was the CEO. He tried this, and it didn't work. And then we had Clyde Reynolds, along with Nesbitt, who were both chairman of the board at that time successfully, and Carlos Ponce was the interim CEO. He tried to do this, and it didn't work. And then Z. Scott became the chairman of the board, and Richard Merchant was the CEO. He tried to do this, and it didn't work. But I'd just like to say that today, with John Hooker being our chairman, and with the board, and with what you're trying to do, Eugene, we are so very happy, and we stand behind you, and we just want to congratulate you. And I just want to say that, really, I'm going to do this. We have a card for you. You're deserving of this, right? Can we? I just want to say that we really appreciate all of your efforts and the staff and all the working together, because it has taken all of us working together for these things to happen. And this card reads thusly: good things come to those who wait. For 52 years, 52 years. But great things come to those who really go for it. Congratulations, Gene, because you have really done it. To you. Thank you so very much. And that's so wonderful. You know, this is history. And so this is being chronicled for all of us being here today. And I just want all of us to realize and to recognize what is taking place today. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, may I?
Yes.
If you'll indulge me, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to also add my comments. If I do nothing else while I served on this board, it will be something I'll always appreciate and remember and feel good about today. As my chairman just said, this is a monumental event. 50 years is a long time. I must point out that Mr. Gene Jones has been the one that's been able to accomplish this, but he so rightly also recognizes his staff, and I'd like to recognize our chairman. Under his direction over the last 2 years, we've established a credibility, not just amongst some of our residents and those recipients, but amongst the courts and BPI, enough so that Gene was able to get us over the finish line. But the work that has been done under this tenure, under this administration, from the direction of our chairman and then down to our CEO and from his direction to his senior staff, is a culmination of things that has never been done, at least in 52 years. It's not because Gene's just so much better looking than his predecessors.
Which I am.
Which he is. I was going to say that. It's just not because he's so much better looking, but it's because of the credibility of the work that's been done over the last 4 years. It's not by mistake. It's not by a good feeling that we have in 2019. It's the result of hard work and good work and honorable work, starting with our chairman. And Gene, I want to commend you and your staff, and I want to tell you this will be something I'll always remember. It's monumental. 50 years. Congratulations to everyone involved.
Thank you.
I had something to say. I had a question.
Me too.
I've been dealing with daughter control for a long time, and some of us might not know the last descendant of daughter control moved out of Robert Taylor in 2006. She used to work for me on the food service program. So she had plenty of family members living in Robert Taylor, Ida B. Wells. I think 2 of them still got to have Section 8s, but they would be nice if some of them could have been summoned to be present for this. Although control did nothing for the family they caught. Anyway, I'd just like to ask a question. Once we go to court and this is settled, that means control is out of the hard unit business. We no longer have to give them 10% of anything when we do start to rebuild, or is that still on the table?
Oh, say that again, Commissioner, I'm sorry.
You know, now whenever we're doing building the higher units, they get commissions from sitting at the table, sitting in all the meetings and stuff. Will that continue?
That still continues on a limited basis.
What's the limited basis?
They don't have to attend all the meetings that is existing in the control order now. Now we scale that back. You know, when it was a time, in control now, is that they will be in every meeting. They will be able to go to the court at any time, file anything that they have something, a difference of agreement with CHA. That's now no longer possible anymore. To be honest with you, what our budget is X, and then we feel that the budget is going to be probably about 30% less as we continue going through the next 5 years.
So if they do sit in on the meetings, are their salaries being cut?
They're not going to be feeing us for all those meetings that they used to attend.
We'll establish a new protocol for regular meetings and exchange of information with them. But I do want to make one point related to that. As we vacate control, the Cabrini and Horner orders continue unimpacted. So to the extent that you may see them in those meetings, but it will be outside of what we're doing here.
Okay.
And so this, once we take it to Judge Aspen, is this gonna be a final order?
So yes, the preliminary order was filed on December 1st. Judge Aspen will be taking comments on September 17th, and as Eugene indicated, January, and as Eugene indicated, hopefully that day he will make a final ruling.
In our favor.
Yes.
To our board chair, Chairman Hooker, I do appreciate your support and your assistance to getting us here and believing in CHA and my staff about us getting here. There have been a lot of individuals not named here that didn't believe we can get this done. And of course, when I talked to the board chair, he believed that it was going to get done because I'm a man of my word, and he knows that if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to get it done. And by that comment from John and so forth, we got it done. Gene didn't get it done. John and I got it done on behalf of our residents and also the support that we have, that we share from our staff. Our staff is very integral in this part, and it doesn't stop after 2024. It continues. We still have to make that fight. We still have to support. We still have to be innovative. We still have to dig our heels in and do it. We don't rest on our morals. We still have a lot to do, and we still have a commitment to our residents, to the city of Chicago. So I thank you, Mr. Hooker, Chairman Hooker.
You're welcome. Thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Well, are there any more questions? Hearing none, the only thing I could add to any of that, Gene, is that this agency, as I look at it over the years we've been here, we're not at the top, but we're climbing. And we'll continue to climb. So, since there's no further questions from commissioners, we will now start public participation period. The registration is closed, and as a reminder to the speakers, speakers will be given 2 minutes to address the board. As mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, personal attacks, abusive language levied at commissioners, staff, or residents, or other individuals will not be tolerated. Responses to comments presented during public participation will be distributed at the next board meeting. Lois will let you know when you have 30 seconds remaining and when your time is up. If you have any written material for the board, please give the material to the board secretary. Our first registered speaker is Watanika. Say that one more time. Watika Klein-Peter. All right, thank you for your help. Please address.
Thank you. I want to say good morning, everyone. Happy New Year.
Good morning
and
to you.
everything. What I wanted to know is, I got the notification. A lot of people got emails and things like that. I want to know what's the initial outcome, where do the residents stand, the reason why that you're informing them? Is there any like bottom line or anything that they should know about, or any reason they should come to court, make comments, or whatever?
We always encourage our residents to come and make comments, either for it or against it. So there's no bottom line. The true issue here is that we want to move forward. We want to have an end date, and we want our residents to participate to make sure that they keep our feet to the fire, that we do what we said we were going to do, and then what we're going to do after that. That they're always included, nothing's changes, there's always going to be community meetings and so forth. They still have an integral part in this on the public housing side and also on the housing choice voucher side. So we continue doing it. What we are going to do is we're going to do it better. Continue doing the things that we know that we can do, focus on the ones that we didn't do right, that we fix those, and we continue participating with our residents.
Okay,
If I may add to that, the control matter is a class action, and the traditional formal way to communicate with class action is by public newspaper publication and other direct notifications.
I'm well aware of the Control Act.
Right,
Yeah.
and that is why we published in 3 newspapers. We had the website posted, and we reached out to people by email, and there were also public housing residents who got hard copies delivered. So that is part of the court notification process.
Yeah, I'm
And
well
the bottom
aware of all
line
that.
is, if you have a comment, the court is offering you an opportunity to do so.
I do. I've already done all that.
Okay.
And I just, I know CHA, you haven't kept all your promises. I made a comment on the plan for transformation when it was there. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, since that was our last registered speaker, our first and last one, I would like to thank you for your comments, ma'am, as well as your concerns and your recommendations. We will distribute the responses to comments at the January 15th board meeting, which is our regular scheduled board meeting. So commissioners, you have heard the comments from the public on today's agenda item. Do you have any further questions or comments?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Fred.
Okay, I really appreciate this meeting. Today is the second Wednesday of the month, is tennis service. And it was already planned, so folks are always coming out, but I wish all the presidents and the residents over at 3030 West 21st Street had been here today to hear this. We did ask Jose to come and speak to the president this Friday, our standing meeting, but sorry, Jose. But Eugene Jones, would you come out to our Friday standing meeting at 10:30 and speak to the president, let him know what's going on?
When is that, Commissioner?
This Friday, day after tomorrow, 10:30.
I won't be here. I'll be out of town.
We got to
I apologize.
Yes, you back on, Jose.
I can do Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week. On Monday.
That's too late.
I can do Saturday and Sunday.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you. If it's not Jose Friday, but I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna ask them today.
Okay.
If they need to hear this.
All right. So since there's no additional or further questions or comments, I would like to present a motion for the approval of item number 1, settlement agreement in the matter of Dorothy Control versus CHA.
Second.
A second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed votes, abstentions, or recusals? Hearing none, item number 1 is approved by unanimous vote. If there's no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Then the special board meeting for January 9th is now adjourned. Thank you all for joining us.